team. Welcome to Renew Neurotherapy's workshop for parents helping students, how to facilitate your child's learning at home. I'm Laura Freeberg. I'll be your instructor. Our team at Renew Neurotherapy has put together these presentations so that you can help your student learn a little better in your home environment, whatever your situation may be. So if you want to contact us directly, you might want to do that. You can email us at info@renewneurotherapy.com, or you can visit our website at www.renewneurotherapy.com. In this one, we're looking at step 5, which is start learning, which is a quick little step, but also a very important step in the process of getting your child to learn well in the home environment. At the beginning of each study session, you might want to use your step 5 handout to agree on the following things. So this might be start time. Hopefully you've kind of established a schedule already. You've got a start time in mind. And the more consistent it is, the better, because then your student will kind of fall into a routine and get used to doing those things in a day, and it'll come a little more naturally, a little less resistance. So agree on a start time. You want that start time to be a time of day where your student is going to be able to focus. So not too early in the morning when they're so groggy, if you can help it. Not too late in the afternoon. If they're too tired or their brain is already, full of the day and not firing as quickly, you want to, start at a time that's going to work best for the sort of cycles of your student, but also for the schedules that your family has as a whole. You also will be looking at a to-do list. So for younger students, you'll want to have a good handle on what it is they're expected to do in a day and help them with their to-do list, whether they're learning at home because they're learning online, or whether they're doing some learning at home because they're maybe doing homework for their sort of in-person classes, towards the evening. So you want to have a good handle on where you find the expectations. Maybe the teacher is listing them on a website. Maybe they're using some kind of app to communicate those expectations with parents. There's a variety of ways that this might happen. So you want to make sure that you're aware of how to find that information, and you can help your student set goals for each study session in terms of what they need to get done. This often can help define when they're finished studying or finished doing their homework, when their to-do list is done. So you send them away, do the first thing on your list, come back and show me. You can take a look, you can offer them feedback, you can ask them to do questions again if they need to make some corrections or increase the quality of their work in some way. But there's a clear to-do list, and once those things are done and done well, then they can move on to whatever's next on their schedule. It may be an amount of time. If they're reading, for example, you might have to read for at least half an hour in a day. That might work to time some of those things. It might be do your homework, and when you're finished, you fill up the rest of this hour with reading. Depending on how that's going, you can decide how to determine what's on the to-do list and when is it done. You can also help your student to set a study skills goal. If they're a motivated student, they might have set this all themselves already. If they're young or if they're not particularly motivated, you can help them start to work on some of their study skills. And these are reinforcing. So when a student sees that they're capable of studying and then gaining more knowledge and doing better and having some of that autonomy, it's reinforcing. It shows them that they can, and then they want to do it some more. Even if students are struggling, students don't want to continue to struggle. They want to make their lives easier and want to be good at these skills that they're building. So if students can, they will, typically. There are some exceptions to that, but typically students really do, appreciate seeing their own growth, and it is reinforcing. Also, there's so much, so much importance in taking breaks. And so you want to decide what time you'll take a break, how long will that break be, and what will you do with it. So you may find that your student is really focused for the first 15 minutes of their time sitting. And then after that, it kind of wanes. And so maybe you plan a break after that 15 minutes, but it's a really short one. Maybe you plan a break where they get up, they go to the other room, they grab a drink of water, they do 20 jumping jacks, and they come on back. That sometimes is enough of a reset to then have another 15 minutes. If you find that break is not enough, maybe plan a little more, but make sure they're getting up out of their space, their study space, to go and take a break somewhere else. Maybe there's something that they love to do that they can do for a short amount of time. Maybe your student is someone who's really into playing music and they play an instrument. Maybe they'll play one song on their instrument and they'll come back, or a couple. You'll talk about duration. So you want to make sure that it's not an indefinite break until you say return, because then your students will have a more difficult time making that transition. So you want them to expect that transition back to work, but really to truly have a little break in there. And deciding, what is it that's a good activity to be doing on your break. So something that gets them up and out of their space, so they shouldn't be on the computer or using some of the materials that they've used for their studying. They should be in a separate area, doing something that really has them thinking about things in a different way. Maybe something creative. Maybe they're going to draw for a few minutes. Maybe they have, maybe they're building something. Maybe they love to play with Legos. Whatever it is, go and do something completely different for a few minutes and then return. So we can also choose activities that they'll be doing following hard work. So this isn't meant to be, a kind of a carrot, like finish your work so you can go and do X, Y, Z, because you really want that learning to be the thing that's the reward, if you can. I mean, it maybe sounds kind of cheesy, but that intrinsic motivation is an important thing to develop. So that motivation that comes from within, because we want to do it, because it's good for us, because we like to do that thing, right? And sometimes we start off with some extrinsic motivations, which is motivation that comes from, some kind of reward or tracking. Even just a good job from a parent can be a reward. But you really want that motivation to come from within, so that when it comes time for them to make the decision to do this, because it's their decision, because they're old enough to do that now, you see that your student has developed into someone who wants to put in the hard work. It's worth it because they have some goal beyond that, to help reach their broader goals in life. So here, what we're looking for is a balanced schedule, right? You're not going to spend all day as a student. You're probably not going to spend all day at your studies. And in fact, you probably shouldn't spend all day at your studies. If you can help it, if you can organize your schedule so that you have some time, some leisure time in every day, some time to kind of wind down before bed, some time to yourself. It's an important thing for mental health and for feeling productive and feeling positive about the work that you're doing during the day. So scheduling this activity following hard work helps to balance things out, right? Because we can't be working all the time. So what activity is that going to be? It's going to be fun. You can look forward to it, and we'll get done this learning and then we'll have some time. So encouraging your learner to have a balanced life means that their work schedule can also be sustainable. This helps with their decision making as older students, as they kind of work through maintaining their own schedules and really making sure that they have balanced lives in general. So what fun is ahead? Are you going to go outside? Are you going to play some sports together? Do you have a game that you like to play? A movie that you want to watch? What is it? What are you going to do? What's the fun ahead? What can we look forward to? And even what can we look forward to together to kind of keep us on the same team too? Could be something together. Yeah. Also, what to do if we need an emotional break. If emotions are running high, whatever those emotions are, it can be difficult to focus. We might feel overly excited or too antsy. We might feel tired. We might feel frustrated. We might feel angry. We might feel, oh, there's so many possibilities. So if you're feeling too much, or if your student is feeling too much, either one, right? If you're in there supporting them, you both have to be feeling it. So feeling well to advance, right? To move forward together on the same team. So if emotions are running high, what is it that you're going to do? So there might be a little activity where you can go and have a body break. We often recommend taking a few minutes to go and do something that's just totally different. Similar to the idea of having a break in general, but this one isn't necessarily scheduled. It's that it's in response to those emotions that are running high. So helping your learner to kind of identify when they're having these emotions, right? We're kind of bringing it back to some of those skills at the beginning of reflecting and validating those emotions. What are you feeling right now? What do you feel like you want to do? Okay, what feeling is associated with that? What do you want to do right now? I want to punch something. Okay, what feeling is that? Okay, I feel angry. What are you going to do about that anger? What do you want to do with it? Maybe go have a run around the block. We're going to cool it down a little bit and then we'll come back to the work. So choosing that strategy often of maybe getting outside, maybe getting a bit of your body moving around in some way, shape, or form. Maybe playing a bit of sports, or even just getting your mind completely off it and going doing something creative. Create some music, or draw a picture, whatever it is. Take a few minutes. Decide how long you're going to take. Okay, let's try it for 10 minutes and see if we're calm. When we're calm, we'll come back. Maybe 20 minutes, maybe 30 minutes, however long it takes, so that you're calm when you're returning and everybody feels a little better and we're not dreading having to, prolong a fight that's maybe not useful in the first place. Here's a little bonus. Reflect on your study sessions and use this information to guide future decisions. So if you had a magical day where everything seemed to be falling in place and your student was on point and there was no fighting and everything was going well and you could see the learning happening in your student, you have a magic day. What went well? Find those things. We often have this kind of hardwiring to find the things that didn't go well, but it's very important to find the things that do line up and are working for us so that we can repeat that in the future as well. We want to avoid the negative things, of course, but finding those things that work can really help compound and increase the number of magic days that we have. So don't forget to be on alert for those things and reflect with your student and help them do some of that reflecting so that together you can continue to create good study habits and effective schedules and move forward in positive ways. That was step 5, start learning. You can feel free to contact us if you need some help implementing and adapting a plan to your students' specific needs, Or if you or your student needs assistance with any of the following topics, we deal with learning enhancement, mental health support, technology dependency, wellness, sleep, brain injury and concussion rehabilitation, neurofeedback, and lots more things. So if you want to check us out, go to our website or email us as mentioned. We'd be happy to help you out. Thank you for listening, and we'll see you next time for Step 6, Curb Unwanted Behaviors.